presentation by Planisware. My name is Parsa Malarabi, and I'm a solutions consultant here at Planisware. I would like to welcome you all to Planisware Orchestra's presentation covering adaptive project management and reporting solution. We're going to cover four main use cases. The first one being IT project and work management, product and work management, enterprise-wide project management, as well as collaborative PPM. For the sake of today's presentation, we're going to be working in a hypothetical company called the Planisware Employee Credit Union. And we're going to be looking at three different perspectives. So the first one being Samantha. She is a business analyst, and her role is to be overseeing the IT projects and then capturing any additional work that needs to be completed as we were executing on a project. Next is Steven. So Steven is a product manager, and he is responsible for delivering a brand new application to our valued credit union members. Then there is Gary. So Gary is our CIO, and his job is to prioritize the efforts of the PMO, as well as aligning the work of the overall portfolio to meet the stakeholders' needs. Starting with Samantha, her responsibility being IT project and work management. She's going to coordinate the program rollout for our Microsoft implementation. So this is a company-wide implementation across multiple branches. Then we have one of her responsibilities is going to be to plan and assign resources on agile work. Additionally, she's going to be reporting on the status of those maintenance projects. Additionally, she's going to capture any collaboration done between the team members so that everyone is aware of the challenges that are being faced across the program. Then there is Steven. His responsibility is to align product features with market expectations, build out the product roadmap, track the product and the return on investment, as cost savings is top of mind this year, and then collaboratively build risks and any risk mitigation plans in the tool. Then we have Gary, the CIO. His responsibility is to align the portfolio with corporate objectives, stimulate and prioritize the projects and programs, and based on any constraints, whether it be financial or resources. And then additionally, he is going to be accessing and sharing executive dashboards across the company. So now that we know who our stakeholders are, let's go ahead and log into the tool to view Orchestra. Upon logging in, Samantha is at the Microsoft Suite implementation dashboard. This is the biggest ongoing initiative for our IT team, and it is a key part of our cost-saving goals for this year. This dashboard is focusing on the status of my MS implementation at each of my branches. I can view the stakeholders involved, the progress and the status of each branch, as well as a roadmap view to help stakeholders visualize the remaining work at each branch and a sense of when the work is expected to complete. Additionally, this dashboard contains a list view of my individual initiatives that give me more visibility into the branches with links for me to have direct access into each progress. Orchestra provides a diverse reporting structure that gives me access to live and dynamic data right upon logging in. Each user has the ability to create their own dashboard, and if there is a dashboard that is well received by the team, dashboards can be shared and published to have a common view across the entire organization. Another neat way for me to visualize the progress on my different branches is to utilize this Orchestra Maps add-on. Our credit union branches are mapped across California. With this add-on, I can visualize the location of each branch to create an engaging view to share with my stakeholders. So I can toggle in some of the statuses of the different locations. And here I can see that Sacramento was the last branch to begin this initiative, and it is currently the one with the most amount of work remaining. So let us drill into this project to see what needs to be completed. The Sacramento rollout is currently underway, This project dashboard gives me a centralized view on the entire status of the project, everything from the mapping of the stage gate, key costs and resource KPIs, and a status message to keep leadership and team members informed on the current activities of the project. I see that we're currently on the implementation phase of the project. To view the agile work that is associated with this phase, I can click into the Kanban boards in Orchestra to view each of those action items. Now that I'm at the boards, let me go ahead and change the scope to only look at the implementation by using the left navigation. I see that Amina and Ava have work assigned to them. One thing that captures my attention is the comments on Ava's action item. Max, a colleague of mine, bumped the work estimate on this story, resulting in an overprojection for Ava that I need to handle. This overprojection is reflected here in red. So one thing that I need to do is I need to take 1 day of effort from Ava and assign it to Amina. This is the story that is causing the issue. So I can assign this story to Amina, and then I can find one that would be able to be completed by Ava. So by shifting the work for Ava and Amina, I found a way to best utilize both Ava and Amina for this current phase. Let me go into the board view to get more information on the work itself. In Orchestra, we can create multiple boards with their own swim lanes. This current view is the sprint planning board. If Amina wanted to update the status of one of her action items, she can just drag and drop it into the appropriate lane. So if she's done with the migration of calendars, she can easily update the status by dragging it and dropping it. And the same goes with Ava. If she has completed the status of this action item, she can go ahead and move that to ready as well. Furthermore, I have created an FAQ document that is shared across all branches so that in-field deployment specialists can collaborate amongst each other as we do the rollouts across our different sites. Document management in Orchestra allows me to collaborate on documents as we would on a platform like SharePoint. The Office logo lets me open the document in an online version that has autosave enabled and other Microsoft functionalities available. In this FAQ, I was asked about a legal document proofing feature that isn't part of the current version rollout. As a matter of fact, we also track versions in Orchestra. Let me see what the next release of our MS Services release holds. I can do so by looking at the list of my features in my next release using this link. When it comes to maintenance projects, we use our ITSM to keep track of the day-to-day execution. This Orchestra project is linked with Jira to keep track of any bugs, enhancements, and tasks that need to be worked on by our support team. Despite using two different systems, we still want to be able to track the release dates, overall progress, and time spent on all of our projects in Orchestra. This allows us to track and manage all of our projects in one place, regardless of which system they're being executed in. This is especially important for us because time tracking is a key component of our cost reduction target. This project is connected to Jira, and it is denoted by this Jira icon on the project summary line. To look at the list of features being considered for our next version, I want to view what's being developed in Jira. Jira objects are connected to Orchestra using the Jira add-on. It is a pre-configured bidirectional interface that comes with its own documentation and best practice workshops. To view what specific stories are connected, I can view those in my task list. The Jira Issues column highlights tasks that are connected to Jira. In order for me to see the document proofing feature that was asked about in my FAQ document, I will need to check its status on Jira. It is going to be a part of Sprint 2, so I need to view the details of this sprint. Sprint 2 contains 5 connections to Jira objects. By clicking on the status, I will be taken to our Jira environment. In Jira, I can see that document proofing is actually being worked on and it is in progress. As the status of this feature changes in Jira, it would automatically be updated in our maintenance project in Orchestra. as well as the release date once it is confirmed and validated by our QA. So if I go ahead and update the progress to done, switch back to our Orchestra environment and simply refresh the page, I'm going to see that now that done is being reflected in my Orchestra environment and that the percent complete has been updated to 20% on the sprint. This add-on is built on top of our Planisware Orchestra APIs. These APIs are the basis of our own add-ons, but also any integrations, partners, ad hoc integrations, or our middleware compatibility. Loic will cover more about our add-ons following this product presentation. As a business analyst, one of my key responsibilities is to monitor feedback from our valued credit union members, which informs our customer experience lab. Recently, we received the results of member surveys regarding our new app. To efficiently manage feedback and ensure all feature requests are centralized, I have designed a backlog dashboard. The latest results indicate that we received a very high score for our in-app appointment booking feature. This versatile dashboard in Orchestra, and all dashboards in Orchestra, allow for users to visualize data in clear and attention-grabbing ways. During the project planning phase, I can review feature details and user story breakdowns to estimate the timeline. At this stage of the request, if any additional details were needed, I could ask our system administrator to configure this form. Beyond the cost-saving hard metrics that we are seeing here, more qualitative components can also be ranked, such as the risk profile. Additionally, our team uses a 2023 prioritization matrix as a key tool to guide our decision-making process. Based on the matrix, we have scored very well in terms of customer satisfaction, as we place a significant importance on its economic value as well. Having a strategic alignment or scoring mechanism is crucial, especially when it comes to prioritizing requests. As a business analyst, I can introduce new scoring criteria that would be consistently applied to all requests, leading to better prioritization. While cost-saving metrics are important, it is also essential to consider the qualitative components, such as the risk profile or the economic factors. By incorporating these factors into our prioritization process, we can ensure a well-rounded and informed decision-making approach. I will proceed by approving this request, as we were previously awaiting the customer survey results before finalizing the scope. Earlier this year, we introduced a business rules engine within Planisware Orchestra that helps streamline the feature approval process. This automation tool creates tasks, notifies the appropriate individuals, and moves objects through their workflows, reducing the need for manual intervention. Upon approval of this feature, the product manager, Steven, will receive an email notifying him that this feature was added to his product backlog. Based off the details that were captured during the request, such as the dates, a task and work items will be automatically created in the appropriate project for Steven's ease of use. If this feature needs to be handled manually or replicated on other products, I have the ability to manually incorporate it on an ad hoc basis by clicking the Create Work Item button. Speaking of automated notifications, this was the email that was generated and sent out to my Outlook to inform me that the in-app appointment booking feature that was approved by Samantha will be developed as a part of my PECU mobile application. Let's log into the tool to see how it impacts the rest of my development. I am logging in manually, but this process would be streamlined with a single sign-on integration. I have set my mobile application product as my home screen. It will be the first page I see when I enter the tool. This project is currently at the development stage as we continuously add in additional features to subsequent versions. Let's look at the Gantt to view how this new feature requests and how it impacts the rest of my schedule. My project is mapped in a hybrid fashion. Having separated my features, I can quickly locate the in-app appointment booking feature that Samantha approved. I can see that we will be able to deploy the feature but only at the start of 2023, as the deployment is set to end on December 22nd. The question here is that will the MS implementation be complete before the release of this new feature, as this feature requires integrated calendars across all of my locations. This feature is only beneficial when our members have visibility into the schedules of our advisors across different locations. To view the dependencies on the tasks, I have set up inter-project links, and these links are tied to my MS Go Live dates across the branches. So Sacramento and San Francisco were the remaining locations that are still in progress, with Sacramento being the last one with an estimated go live date of November 8th. Giving Sacramento a decent amount of float dates, ensuring that we have a buffer on the critical path. One thing to note about our new Gantt is that it was deployed last year in v7.2, granting a seamless adoption for users coming from Microsoft Project or other project scheduling platforms. The ability to manipulate the project schedule in multiple ways helps with user adoption, as there are keyboard shortcuts, interaction on the Gantt, with all changes being saved automatically and having the ability to undo. Additionally, I can use the left navigation to change the scope of the user. This is particularly useful when a project is cross-functional and certain team members should have limited visibility of all the activities that are ongoing. This user, if they're only concerned about the features, will have access to only the in-app appointment and the NFC mobile payment tasks, and this is going to be their view for the Gantt. The addition of this feature might have risks associated with it, risks that I, a product manager, may overlook. Let's go ahead and log some risks. In Orchestra, I have two ways of creating risks. The first being a manual log that can occur at any moment. The second is being able to collaborate with AI to assist with the risk generation process. This is an incredibly powerful functionality and our very first AI-enabled use case in Orchestra. As AI becomes more widely adopted, we will focus on creative solutions to include AI throughout Orchestra. Once the AI is done generating the risk, I can choose which to keep and also click into them to view any of the detailed action plans that the AI generated in order to mitigate the risk if it occurred. As a part of our PMO process, Orchestra has enabled us to use business cases to support our new product development. The out-of-the-box business case offering enables me to track financial metrics such as cost savings, benefits, and detailed costs to give me insight into the hard metrics of my initiative. With the new features that are set to add to my mobile application, I will be able to sunset some of my costly ongoing legacy systems. The in-app appointment booking feature will allow us to replace our current third-party call centers. Not only will this result in a better customer experience for our members, but it will also be beneficial in a financial sense moving forward. At PECU, we have spent a significant amount of time building out a detailed financial model for realizing such benefits. One of the values that Orchestra provides is that I am able to continue using our internal financial model. Finance was keen on that. The Orchestra team used a WebDAV sync to connect our beloved Excel file to the solution. To log the specific cost-saving benefits, I can work directly in Excel. This document is connected to Orchestra the same way as the FAQ document was shown to you by Samantha. By switching over to this business case project tab, I can see that I'm currently planning on doing some cost savings beginning at the first quarter of 2024. But say that a change in my schedule occurred and all my cost savings are going to begin at the start of Q3. What I can do is edit my Excel to reflect that. And once I've done all this, I can see that the bottom row, the cost savings, is aggregating, and that the total revenue for the year, which is a cost saving type, is updated. I can simply save this Excel, close it out, and refresh my Orchestra instance. And by doing that, I can see that all of a sudden my ROI has jumped up from 60% to 92%. This is a pretty critical feature for our CIO. Our CIO conducts quarterly check-ins with product owners. These check-ins used to be time-consuming and stressful, as I had to scramble to gather all the metrics on my projects and put together various PowerPoints. Luckily, Orchestra has a feature that has streamlined this process for me. Something that took me a week to do across my different products now I can do in a matter of minutes. The check-ins that I used to dread are now something that I actually look forward to. A flash report in Orchestra is essentially a snapshot of the project. I can generate one with a simple click. I can click new. These are simple metrics that I can update, and others are calculated. So I can go ahead and say my schedule is on track. My cost is also on track now that I've made edits to my business case. And then any other feedback that I want to go ahead and update, I can leave for my CIO. The summary, I can update here. I can paste in some text through things that I have saved previously. So I added a mitigation action plan. Some of the highlights, for example, is that a new feature was added and cost saving has been updated. Now, as I go ahead and I copy and paste this text, this is where I see another use case for a collaborative AI. The AI would be able to access the audit trail of the project and generate prompts to assist me during this report generation. It would know what metrics moved in positive and negative directions since the last report was generated. It will also remember changes that had the biggest impact on the task or project end dates, even the ROI metric that we adjusted. So I wouldn't have to spend time recalling everything that happened across my 4 or 5 different products. I would have an AI aid to help me through this process. Once everything is captured, I also have additional metrics here. So the progress metrics, the schedule, costs, and everything else. And then I can go ahead and create and generate this report. By doing this, it's going to automatically notify our CIO, Gary, that this report is generated, and we can go ahead and book a meeting from this action. Lastly, there is one more component to my meeting. Last year, our organization introduced OKRs. Let me quickly overview the progress that I've made towards each of the initiatives. Here I can see that one of my objectives was to cut costs by 50%. Having set up business rules, this metric was automatically updated for me, and I can see that now from the initial target that I had set of 1.1 million, I am actually at $715,000 of my target of 650%. So I'm 60 or 86% of the way there, and the other OKRs are for our PECU to be the #1 credit union in the Western region, being that we are operating in California, and the other being that over 80% of our members are satisfied. Now, this is why we're taking the initiatives of building out the customer platform and really working on our customer experience so that some of these objectives are being met, and how the mobile application affects that will be later populated with additional feedback that we get from our members. Gary, the CIO of Planisware Employee Credit Union, will log into the tool to ensure that the credit union's technology and digital infrastructure are aligned with the organizational strategic goals and objectives. My main focus today is identifying opportunities to leverage technology to improve member experience and increase operational efficiency. My Orchestra login page is set up to the IT portfolio. This is an out-of-the-box best practice dashboard that I leverage to stay informed on high-level KPIs and key milestones. One particular milestone that captures my attention is the MS implementation go live milestone. This is a major undertaking for our organization as we are spread out across California and needed a platform that helps us facilitate collaboration in the same sense that Orchestra does. As the milestone is approaching, I am curious as to how the implementation of the completed branches transpired, as operational efficiency is a key for us this year. Let me drill into that program to get a more detailed view. This is a stage gate mapping. However, it is the project summary that I'm more interested in. So let me go to my project lists. Right off the bat, I can tell that Sacramento is still the project that is in progress and has agile work remaining, while San Francisco has completed all of its agile work. Additionally, I can click into the project to access the right panel summary widget, and this is giving me access into the high-level summary of the project, as well as any other documents and comments and collaboration that has occurred in the project. Having checked the status of my MS implementations, I will plan for the quarterly review of our customer experience assets. Right off the bat, I can see that this is a developer-heavy initiative. Knowing that my PECU mobile app is a key focus for us, let me check with my product manager, Steven, to see how things are progressing. I have received a notification informing me that he has completed his status report. Let me give it a quick glance before reaching out to him. I have a central repository for all Flash reports that allows me to quickly facilitate my quarterly check-ins. There is some red on his report, and I will be able to click into this row to check on the details. It might be that the newly added feature has caused some delay on his project. To view the project report and really get to the details of the project, I can generate an exportable report that can also be leveraged to share with our executives. This exportable report can come in multiple formats, such as PDF and PowerPoint. I will generate a PDF. And what this does is it takes the most recent status of the projects and it creates a one-pager for each of the projects in my program. So let me quickly find Steven's project, the PECU mobile application, and I can see that there are some risks that were generated by the AI. I can see what part of the planning phase he's in, the stage gate phase. So he's in the development phase. And then I have more details as far as what are the statuses on the health, the resources, and any costs and everything. And this is a BERT report generated by Orchestra. These are completely configurable, and we've chosen to configure this report to our liking in this method. Speaking of sharing reports with the rest of our executives, I need to prepare a status update on my program's objectives. Let me go check the status of my cost savings initiative. Here I can see the list of the OKRs that I'm currently working on and tracking. Right now I see that we are almost towards the goal of our cost saving initiative by reducing our costs by 50%. I can see that at the program level, I have 5 dependents. These 5 dependents are the projects that are currently rolling up to this objective. Right now I can see that the 4 or 5 projects are trending fairly well. But the problem here is that my larger projects, so my ITB1, which is my PECU mobile app, and my other project, my SWDC1 project, are not fully there yet, which is skewing the balance of my overall objective. After looking at this, I have more data points into what to present to our executives. If we do not reach our cost-saving objective by reducing costs on our current programs, I may have to descope some approved projects that are currently on the roadmap. The first step in my prioritization exercise is to define what metrics are valuable and how do we compare projects so that we make informed strategic decisions. To do this exercise, I need to be working with the most up-to-date business case information. I have developed the request of update business cases workflow that allows me to get the most recent business case by notifying project managers and informing them that I have requested a business case. As for cost savings is currently the key for us, I need to change my prioritization to have a focus on that. Instead of comparing reduce our resource costs and requested loads, I can change this to a more financially driven metric, such as the NPV. One thing that I realized is that the ITB C4 project is a very expensive project and it does not bring much present value. One thing that I can do is I can remove this project from the pipeline. Before I go ahead and I finalize everything, I realized that it's the mobile banking app, and this app might be conflicting with our new PECU mobile app. So it might be the best decision, but let me do one more analysis before I actually go ahead and decommission this application. Allow me to take a moment to explain this screen. What if scenarios are simulated on this screen and the previous one that I showed? The top row is a financial waterline. It is aggregating and summarizing the current scenario. We have a list of current and potential projects and a timeline visual that represents when they are scheduled. The toggled projects are the ones that are being included in this current scenario. Dark blue on the timeline represents progress on the project. The pink represents the baseline date, and the gray bar itself is the simulated date. The bottom half of the screen is the capacity utilization of my resources if I were to execute on this selected scenario. In the prioritization activity that I did earlier, the mobile banking app was the application that I chose to decommission. One thing that I noticed is that it is already completed. So I may not have the option to, remove a project to cut costs, but in the future, I can look at the projects that are in my pipeline, choose or do a prioritization exercise on which I want to actually proceed with, and then push them out for the next year so that I'm not accruing any costs for the current year. So to create that scenario, I can go ahead and toggle in these projects. And as I do toggle them in, you can see that my developers, for example, were updated. I will toggle in one more project, the Launch Loyalty Program by Monica. And again, there is additional requests for developers when I don't have any. One thing that I can do is say, okay, well, if I were to execute this project beginning Q1 of 2024, would that work? Yes, it does. What about the same for my virtual card deployment? And yes, so what I've done is I've pushed 2 projects out to begin in the beginning of 2024. The baseline dates stay, and the impact on my resources are good enough for me to go ahead and approve this decision so that we have something to work for in the future. Once I've done building out my scenario, I can go ahead and approve this scenario, and any of the business rules that I've created are going to initiate and execute, notifying all the project managers that their projects were either approved or rejected for this upcoming scenario.